family of quail just flew by. Hey YouTube, happy middle of summer. It's about 2.5 months since I put my garden in, and as you can see, it's exploded here in the lesser Yakima area. But yeah, it's gone pretty good. I think combination of the drip tape, of course this is soaker hose, you can see that obviously, but underneath each row, as you see in my previous videos, I got 20-foot strips of drip tape, and you can't even tell, but I'm watering right now. I've got my drip tape monitor and my timer, so I set it for a couple hours, and there's my ace tomatoes. They're getting huge. Those are both supposed to be beefsteak tomatoes. I don't know. It could be, they're just not very large. And they're starting to get red. There's that volunteer heirloom tomato I talked about in my last video. After I transplant it, that thing is huge. Okay, give me a perspective. So there's my hand. So that's a pretty nice sized tomato. And let's go back to the beets. This is the second row of beets, and it's just exploded. And our broccoli. This is our second attempt at carrots. This one's didn't do so well. They're doing well. They just didn't, all the seeds didn't pop up. And our corn was not knee-high by the 4th of July. However, it is virtually waist-high. So it's getting there. And then here's those pumpkins. Those got pretty big on the edge. We had to do some transplanting. Those died, but the rest of them are doing okay. And let's see. Here's that volunteer thornless blackberry. That thing, I thought we dug up the whole thing, but apparently we didn't. And there's some radishes going to seed. You can't plant too many radishes because you can't eat it, unless you just sit there and munch on them all day. I mean, that was just that little pile there, a little bit more, and that pile there, and it's given us more than enough for salads. And our potato patch is flowering, and our winter squash is going crazy all around it. Check out that squash, it's enormous. Another one. Pretty cool. These two squash here, one's a spaghetti squash and the other one is a butternut? No, I can't remember what she planted. She said something. The wifey. So there's our mustard greens going to seed. We're going to cut that and give it to our daughter because she's got some lizards that like that stuff. Here's our first row of beets that I called radishes last time, I think. Duh. Some more, another variety of mustard green. And that lettuce that we started in the hydroponics that was just teeny tiny, we've already made some cuttings off of it and had salad. It's so good. Oh yeah, there's our other row. There's our same row of tomatoes. So, I know my dad's are a lot larger. He had a whole shirt full of tomatoes. He sent me a picture. And then this is also some stuff from the hydroponics. This is stuff that we started in January and then transplanted to a pot. Get a different, there we go. And this is parsley. We got some thyme. We got some mint. And we got some basil. And it's still growing since January. It's amazing. And then this is some kale. Kale looks really good. We've been picking off of that and eating some of that. Our beans we've already picked twice. And then we're going to pick here in a few days because you can see you're getting some nice beans on there. This row, I mean, it did okay, but I think this row did a lot better, obviously. You can see. But yeah, look at the beans on that. And they're just all over the place. We're going to pick those and maybe try to can some if we have enough. Here is the feature right here. I think this is because the Comet Neowise has blessed us with some nice carrots. Or how about graced us? God blesses us. Neowise would grace us with some carrots. Those things are enormous. So I think in about a week we're gonna do pick them all, and yeah, my dad calls it pulling up their pants. We pulled up their pants, kind of got it up on there, just like on the corn. But yeah, you pull those things up and they're just really nice. And I dug that row deeper in the ground than the other one, so they would have a nice straight carrot rather than get all wonky because of rocks and stuff. And these are transplanted beets as of maybe 3 weeks ago, and they're doing okay. We're gonna have beets coming out our ears. Here's another thing. Look at this. That's our habaneros. They're trying to make it, and I'm sure they will later on, maybe another month, but the jalapenos are doing really good. Not the largest jalapenos, but they're really, really tasty. And then we have these gypsy peppers. These are crazy. Look at how big those are. Those are so good sauteed. And then these are red bell peppers. They haven't turned red yet, but they're just really nice. For the size of the plant, the plant's not very big. We get some nice sized bell peppers on that. And then these are the banana peppers. Let's see. They're either that or that. I don't know. You tell me. Put it in the comments. What do you think they are? It could be either Anaheims or bananas. I think they're banana peppers myself. There's a volunteer potato and a volunteer lettuce. And then that was our peas row. It's pretty much done. I think we're gonna let them dry, and that'll be our planting for next year. And then that one row, my wife said it's onions, so don't dig it up. Check that out. Onions all the way down. Now we have transplanted a little bit to add to the row after we dug the weeds out. But here's an example. I have the drip tape down below the ground, and you can see that the water is actually, it's wet, it's muddy, and I haven't put any top water on that. It's all from the drip tape underneath. So these onions are getting watered, even though it doesn't look like it, especially in the dry, lesser Yakima area. And there's a patch of onions that we first started that has just taken off, so hopefully in another month we'll have some good ones there. And of course we got our sunflowers that are touching 7 foot tall. It's kind of cool. Bee on there. There's Roy's bees. It's our neighbor down the way. He does beekeeping. Okay, so that's our garden. That's a 2.5 months of growth right there. Not bad. I recommend the drip tape, especially for an environment like this. And the weeds, you can see our rows. We don't have very many weeds, so it's easy to keep them at bay. Just a regular hoe and a hula hoe, and you go through there and rip them right up, and you can keep it pretty clean. All right, YouTube, thanks for watching, and I'll give you another update in about a month and see what happens.